took it out of Damar Hamlin's hands. That was, listen, I don't know as though, like, how do you vote for comeback player of the year?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even blame the writers for like picking Flacco, because it's like, I don't know who I would have voted for because that's a tough call. But I'm glad that Flacco got it, because his resurgence was really incredible during that stretch in the regular season. It certainly was a comeback. I think Baker Mayfield probably also was deserving of the award too. Let's throw him in there. But it went to Flacco. Derek, in your opinion, why did this award go to Flacco over Baker Mayfield, but especially over Damar Hamlin?
Yeah, so this was the most mind-blowing one to me, because if there was one of them for sure that I thought was not going to go the Browns' way, I thought it would be comeback player of the year. Just because, listen, the situation with Damar Hamlin is unprecedented, right? We have not seen that a whole bunch, at least in me and your lifetime, Tristan. So when you have a situation like that, and then you have a guy who gets brought back to life, and then plays. He didn't play a whole lot, and he barely did anything. And that's not disrespectful to him. That's just the reality of the situation. So when you look at comeback player of the year, to me, that award is somebody who exploded on the scene, right? Somebody who maybe was good before, or all of a sudden had a really big breakout year. That's how I view comeback player of the year. And I think that's what happened here. Now with Damar, I think that needs to be a separate award. I think that needs to be...
in my opinion, he should have gotten Walter Payton Man of the Year. That's what I would have given him. Because, especially because he's been doing a lot of charitable stuff with, like, especially with, I can't remember the machines. You know what I'm talking about, though. The specific heart machines, he's been getting them into, I think it's schools, is where he's been getting them into. In his story, I felt like that was a more appropriate award for him. Yeah. But I agree with you. Keep going. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah, I just think there needs to be a separate category. I think there needs to be a separate category for the Alex Smiths of the world, right, who came back from that injury and was able to take a couple more snaps, Damar Hamlin. And the unfortunate reality is football, there's going to be more, right? There's going to be more unbelievable, sad, horrific injuries. That's the game of football, college, high school, NFL, right? And even younger than that. That's why it's so dangerous to play this game. That's why there's the debates. Should you get your kids in, right? But I think that is the better thing to do here. Make a separate award. Now, with that being said, obviously, thank God above that Damar Hamlin is alive. He's well. And he was able to play again. That's awesome. But for me, again, I think comeback player of the year is different than what he necessarily came back from, if that makes sense. So I think the NFL missed a huge opportunity there to introduce this. I mean, there's still time, but they're going to have to figure that out. They're going to have to figure something out with that. Now, with Joe Flacco compared to Baker Mayfield, compared to anybody else who had a really good year, I think here's the thing, and this is what makes it so special. Joe Flacco was a forgotten about veteran quarterback who was sitting on his couch, and you had a team in the Cleveland Browns that were loaded with talent that one by one went down, right? Left tackle, right tackle, backup right tackle, running back, quarterback. Like, one by one, the dominoes fell to the point where it was like, we were talking, who's the best option? There's really, like, nobody out there. Nick Foles, Cam Newton. Joe Flacco ended up being the one who played for a division rival, won a Super Bowl for a division rival, came to Cleveland, the city embraced him, and ended up finishing the year 11-6 and a playoff appearance when the Browns had no business being in that spot. And Joe Flacco deserves a lot of credit for that. You talk about the 300-plus yard games that he had repeatedly over and over and over. And was he perfect? No. But in terms of somebody coming off their couch, joining a practice squad, and then doing what he did was an incredible story. And I do understand the votes being really close between him and Hamlin, but I think it's just the definition of what the award is. And as far as Baker goes, yes, Baker, absolutely deserved to be in the conversation for sure. You know, this is a guy who's on his 4th team now and had a really, really good year. Took the Bucs to the playoffs. That's great. And that's not to take anything away from Baker. I just think the story of Flacco and how it happened is the difference maker. At the point in the year that it was, doing what he did and ultimately getting the Browns to the playoff, clinching the playoffs against one of his former teams in the New York Jets. Me and you were there. What a story. Like, what a story. So, I think he's great. I think it's awesome. And I'm very happy for Joe. Don't know what his future is. That's a conversation for later. But happy for him now.
I think you and I can both agree, hopefully, a future Cleveland Browns backup quarterback. Now, just my quick little take on this, because you pretty much highlighted everything that I wanted to highlight. I wanted to kind of add on a little bit to that, like Flacco over Baker. I just think that with Baker, in most years, I think he's a very deserving comeback player of the year. I think that what Joe Flacco did is so unheard of and so like out of left field. I mean, like the guy couldn't even get on a practice squad, you know, and he gets a team that when he came in, I want to say, because him as a Brown, he only lost 1 game. I want to say it was his first game. So, I mean, we won like 5 in a row with him? 4 in a row at least, like
something like that, yeah.
You know, and this was a team that ended up only losing 6 times, even though we had all of the injury issues that we had. You know, it's unheard of, and this will kind of fuel into my next conversation too, the next conversation we have. But because it's so unheard of, because it's such a weird and random story, and it's because it's also this organization too, the history of this organization, it makes it just so much of a story that I think it had to be Flacco over Baker. But I think you addressed the Damar Hamlin side of it really, really well.